is the 77 WABC minicast.
Claudia Tenney is one of my favorite Congress people up there in the southern tier, New York. Does a tremendous job for us in Congress. She's here to join us this morning on what could be a very, very important day for DHS. Claudia, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. You're so funny. I get a kick out of you. What about Bruce Pearl, the great basketball coach, another Jewish guy who's standing up for America and freedom?
You know, I've gone to Israel with Coach Pearl, and we're going to be speaking together again, Claudia, this April at the JNS Annual International Summit. He and I are very, very close. He actually, you may not believe this, but I was the first call he made a couple of months ago when he was very seriously considering running for Tommy Tuberville's seat in the state of Alabama, and I told him to do it. I said, go into politics. As it turned out, he didn't. There was some cockamamie rule. I don't know. So he didn't do it. Instead, he's working for CBS, doing college basketball and helping his son, who's now the head basketball coach at Auburn. But him and I are very close, and you're right. He's a terrific guy. I want to get to the Olympics. You know, I'm not watching. I watch the men's hockey. I do, because the hockey team, I speak to Mike Eruzione going back to 1980. I love those guys, and we killed Latvia yesterday. But Hunter Hess and Amber Glenn and Michaela Schifrin and all these unappreciative, snot-nosed kids that are on our team really ruined it for me. But I was told this morning by our great newsman, Noam Layden, that you, Claudia Tenney, you are an Olympic curler?
No, I was an Olympic curler, but I was a curler. There's probably not too many of us. I was a curler. I was the 1975 teenage curling champion from the Utica Curling Club up in very cold Utica, New York.
Really?
And I'm a graduate of I don't think it's open anymore, but the so-called Silver Broom Curling School. When I was a kid, I was a teenager, and I do. But this is part of the fun. I keep it going. Somehow it got leaked out years ago in Congress, so I've been holding the only curling event in Washington, D.C. It's called the Mira Curl on the Frozen Swamp, and we bring in people to try out curling, and it's fun. We just take videos of all kinds of lobbyists and government affairs people wiping out on the ice, and but it's good fun. People learn how to sweep and throw a stone. It's actually a great sport. It really is, and I enjoy it, and a lot of people enjoy it, especially up here in the frozen tundra. I actually have the shoreline of Lake Ontario, so there are curling clubs dotted along all of upstate New York, and it's a great sport. It really is, and I'm glad it's an Olympic sport. And by the way, my family's watching curling while everybody else is watching, the downhill skiing. So
right, there you go.
Although my cousin was a professional downhill skier, though. So.
No, listen, they're amazing athletes, and God bless them. But again, these kids, they just shut up. Like Laura Ingraham said, just shut up and dribble, shut up and sing. There's something to that. Trust me, there's something to that. And now you mentioned
America, though. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm like, let them say that. I still don't want to. I don't want to discredit all the amazing athletes we have. The first ever luge athlete to medal in the United States is a woman named Erin Hamlin. She's from my district. She's amazing, and she won the bronze medal way back in 2018. She's an amazing person, and she's commentating. I was commentating for the luge. So there's a lot of great athletes. Comes from a wonderful family up here, very pro-America, very wonderful patriots. So her grandfather was a county legislator up here, and so a lot of wonderful athletes from all over. Some of the Colgate University hockey team are playing. St. Lawrence University, a lot of great athletes from the United States. So I watch because I know these wonderful people have spent their lives doing this. And remember when Jimmy Carter shut down the Olympics, how much that hurt over politics.
True. No, you're right.
So many athletes. So,
yep.
Let these people be, un-American. Let the American people see them. But let's celebrate the people that are, honored to represent our country.
100% fair. And that was part of the reason why patriotism was at an all-time low. Biden kind of caught up last year, despite MS now saying this morning that most voters think Biden did a better job than Trump. But you're right. They did. That's how they started the show this morning. Between the gas lines and the hostages in Iran, the Olympics was a big, big deal. Now, you mentioned Utica. And my dear friend Bruce Blakeman is running for governor. He is currently the Nassau County executive, and he made his choice this week for lieutenant governor. And I had this gentleman on the show, Todd Hood, seems like a great guy, sheriff from Madison County. And correct me if I'm wrong, Madison County kind of encompasses Utica to Syracuse. Do you know Todd Hood?
Oh, yes, very, very much so. I used to represent Madison County. It's the home county, my mother's home county. It's an amazing place. I went to Colgate University, which is in Hamilton, right in the heart of Madison County. There's a lot of other really great things about Madison County that people don't know. And Todd is absolutely an outstanding sheriff, an outstanding person. His wife is amazing, his wife Kelly. They are wonderful people, strong conservatives, and they're great people. And I will tell you something really important about Madison County that people don't know, and it's part of our history, and we're coming up on the 250th anniversary, so we're going to celebrate all things American. In upstate New York and New York City, everything was so critical in the founding of our nation, our state. But we have the Abolitionist Hall of Fame in upstate New York, in Peterborough, New York, which is in Madison County, where Todd Hood is from. This is so important, and we don't get the credit we deserve of how much our communities did during the abolitionist movement, working with Frederick Douglass, who was in nearby Syracuse. A great guy named Garrett Smith actually funded this operation that Frederick Douglass was writing his North Star to help the abolitionist movement to end slavery. And we were a huge part of that, our state. And I keep trying to tell President Trump how important we are. Harriet Tubman had her home here. Susan B. Anthony, a Republican who also fought for women's rights from up here. These are really important people that founded our nation. Were not founded, but I say good part of the continuation of our nation during the Lincoln era. Lincoln, all these people. It's just an amazing part of the world. But that's Todd Hood's home county, and he's amazing. I mean, he's going to be a great lieutenant governor candidate.
What a fascinating conversation. See, people are going to bring Claudia Tenney on today. They're going to go right to DHS. We just did curling, Todd Hood, Madison County, and abolitionists. No one's going to do that. I found it to be fascinating. I'm being serious, Claudia. I loved it, but
honestly, we don't appreciate our history.
I agree.
I'm so proud to be from this part of the country where we were so important. And in New York, as you watch the free fall with Mondami destroying the state, Kathy Hochul destroying the state, the Democrats in Albany destroying this wonderful state with rich history and great patriots that came from our country who believed in freedom. And where are we? These people are talking about communism and Marxism and things that are the opposite of what these great people died for and stood for and risked their lives for. Look at Harriet Tubman, an amazing woman who is part of our history, who had her home here, and there's a federal site here with Harriet Tubman's home. These are great people that were part of our country, and yet you got these people like Mondami trying to destroy our country.
3 minutes to go. Let's get to the DHS story, though. Yes. The funding will expire tonight. Nothing's going to change. Hakeem Jeffries is a dick. I can say that. You can't. He is. And all the Democrats are. You laugh. Good. That means you liked it. And you guys are stuck between a rock and a hard place because you just want to continue it. I mean, the funny thing is, they're mad about ICE, yet ICE will continue to operate. That is the irony here. So they're going to shut down the Coast Guard. They're going to shut down FEMA. They're going to cause havoc and chaos again at the airports. What in God's name, Claudia, are these people doing?
Hakeem Jeffries used to sit next to me in the state legislature. They are all charlatans. They have to try to find something, anything to latch on to appeal to their base. They have nothing. So what are they going to do? They're going to do just what they did last fall when they shut the government down. They're going to inflict pain on the American people where it hurts the most. Disaster response. I'm looking at the frozen tundra up here. I have at least 3 feet of snow. We have cold temperatures. It's 1 degree here up in upstate New York. We have TSA. People are flying. This is now, the vacation week where the kids are off and people are traveling. TSA is now going to be shut down. The Coast Guard, our cybersecurity defenses, the Secret Service, all kinds of. Why? Why? Because they have to show their base that they're doing something because they couldn't support the good things that we did last year. And by the way, the laws are exactly the same as they were under Joe Biden. The only problem is they've left us with a mess. We have to deal with mass migration problems. Some of the cases that you deal with, and I'm going to be honest, Sid, there's some terrible people here. There's some people that got caught up in it. There's some people who allowed their visas to get expired because they didn't think they were going to be held accountable. Now suddenly they're held accountable. And yet I have some sympathy for these people, but if I were stranded in a foreign country, I would not let my visa expire.
Bottom
This
line.
is the kind of lawlessness, lack of respect for the rule of law that Biden and the Democrats bring on. We have to get back to rule of law. This is, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait and see if we can come up with some kind of deal to get this through the Senate.